setting up trademarks, you could even do it before you launch your product. So if you've got a name, you could go and file a trademark. There's two main different kinds of trademark applications. One is called an intent to use trademark application, or that's the filing basis, I should say. The other one is use in commerce. All that means, those are fancy words for, one is I'm already using this brand in commerce. The other one is I'm not using it yet, but I want to reserve this brand name for when I start using it.
What about this, Mario? Like, let's say I come up with a brand name and a concept and I love it, and then I go online and I see somebody else already is using that CBD brand name, but they haven't trademarked it yet. So can I go and trademark that and then send them a cease and desist letter if I'm like stuck on that brand name and I just really don't want any other name?
Sure, you could. I don't know if any attorney would recommend it. So here's how trademark rights work. It's first use. So whoever uses that trademark or brand name first has superior rights to it. Now,
even if they didn't do all the paperwork and stuff.
Even if they didn't do all the paperwork. However, what would happen in a situation like that if you came to me and said, for example, you love that name, but you know someone else in Texas is using that name? I would say, all right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's find out if they're only selling within the borders of Texas, or are they selling to other states too? At that point, well, what I would suggest is let's go ahead and finish up everything you've got as far as a product and start shipping it at least to different states, or at least across one state line. So now that establishes use in commerce. I would recommend we go ahead and file the trademark with the USPTO. And keep in mind, this is just general advice. I don't want anyone kind of acting on this. I got to put that disclaimer out there. This is just general advice. Okay. But what I would suggest, like I said, is go ahead and file the registered trademark with the USPTO. Then go ahead and send them a cease and desist letter and say, hey, we've got this brand name. We own it federally, so nationwide. Now, if they've got enough money, they could go ahead and fight and say, you know what? We've got first rights to this because we have superior rights. We were using this, for example, since 2005. You guys just created this in 2020. We would say, all right, where were you using those rights? And if they say, okay, just Texas. All right, you get rights to it in Texas. Theoretically, this is what would happen. This is what the court would decide. You get rights to it in Texas. We get rights to it in every other state.
No, man. Yeah, and I'm not recommending that. I was just kind of throwing that out there because I thought about that. Yeah. But yeah, usually like it's tough though. Like when you're coming up with a company, usually you'll be like, oh, that name, I just came up with the best name ever. And then you go online and they're all just always taken, or the URLs are taken. So it's really, I mean, you've had e-com companies. It's just difficult to find the perfect name in URL sometimes.
URL doesn't really matter as much, to be honest with you, just because right now there's so obviously everyone wants .com, but there's so many other extensions coming out there like .co, .net. What was it like? The latest one I saw was .lawyers. I was like, we probably don't need that one, you know. But
yeah, .io. A lot of people are using that.
Like .io is pretty big for the startups in Silicon Valley. Yeah. URLs and domain names, I'm usually not that concerned about. Even social media accounts, you can get creative and come up with different ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like we came up with our consulting company name, and there was other consulting companies, or there was somebody that had that symbio.com, so we just put wearesymbio.com.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's so many other ways to do it. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And also trademarks, a lot of people kind of just breaking off with the topic of licensing. Trademarks can be sold. A lot of people believe that trademarks can't be sold, but trademarks can be sold. So if I've got a trademark that you really like, I could go ahead and sell it to you. And there's actually a website your audience could go take a look at called the U.S. Trademark Exchange. The guy that runs that is a very nice guy. Had several good conversations with him. But you'll see trademarks going from all the way from like $5,000 all the way to, I think the most I saw was $2 or $3 million.
Nice.
Yeah, just for a trademark, So the rule is that trademark has to accompany goodwill. Now, what does goodwill mean? It's usually the reputation of the brand. So you can't sell a naked trademark. That's what they're called. That's the non-technical term, a naked trademark. It has to come with some goodwill or the reputation of that brand.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, it's your property. You could sell it.
Interesting.